Aw, SmackDown played a scared little game last night. The post-Royal Rumble, February 5th, 2021. SmackDown played a scared little game. They tried to play it safe, and they ended up failing miserably. They dropped the ball, and that's an understatement. They had two marquee matchups for WrestleMania sitting in their lap. Two marquee matchups with Mania just 63 nights away, and they played it safe. They played a scared game. It's almost like the parents that bring their little kid to the beach for the very first time. And the parents are setting up the tent and the lawn chairs on the beach, and they tell little Timmy to go out to the beach. Go ahead, take a walk. Dip your toes into the water. And little Timmy takes those first steps toward that beach. And as he gets closer to that ocean, his eyes open wide. He turns back to Mommy and Daddy, and Mommy and Daddy are still cheering little Timmy on. Go, Timmy! Dip your toes into the water! Explore, Timmy! But Timmy realizes in the next few steps, he's going to be in those waters. He could get knocked out by a whale. He could be eaten by a shark. Do I take that chance? Timmy asks himself. Or do I turn back now to Mommy and Daddy where it's safe? And he turns back like a bitch boy, Braden, to Mommy and Daddy inside that cozy little tent. WWE crawled back to Mommy and Daddy. They crawled back to redundancy. They crawled back to safety last night on SmackDown with two marquee matches sitting in their very lap. NBC used to do back in the day and drop some knowledge with the more you know. Well, BC is now going to drop some knowledge on the pro wrestling community. You see, last night, WWE had a chance to cement, to cascade in stone, two marquee matchups for WrestleMania. Roman Reigns versus Edge for the Universal Championship, and Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And instead of cementing those matchups, they played it safe and they left the doors wide open, and they failed miserably in doing such. And I know there's fans out there that don't want to see Roman lose the championship yet, and they're willing to dumb down the WrestleMania card. They're willing to see some nonsensical matchup like Edge versus McIntyre and wait for Roman and Edge to maybe SummerSlam. They're willing to dumb down the card because they'd rather play Booker than be a fan for one night. 2 nights out of the year now because of this pandemic. But WrestleMania is for the biggest of matchups. Dream matches even. And BC is not going to dumb down the card because I'm scared about who's going to walk out with the title. No, I put too much respect on Edge's name. And Roman, if he did drop the title, if that was the worst thing to come out of WrestleMania, it's not all that bad, folks. Relax. Roman's character, Roman, is on another level. His pursuit back to that championship would be even more badass. He would feel even more disrespected. He would feel he was done wrong, and he's coming for that ass. Relax, I'm with ya. I have Roman walking out with the strap, but I'm not willing to not get the dream match on the biggest stage of them all just because I'm scared of booking. Edge deserves more respect than that. This isn't Gilbert who's about to take it from him. And then the same thing with Bianca taking the title from Sasha, people saying it's too soon. Guys, Sasha Banks has been booked like an absolute clown, just like Asuka over on the red side. These titles aren't doing anything for them, and it's what I've always explained to you. The women will make the championship, not the other way around. That woman will help enhance and amplify the title. But you have to give them the chance to do such. You have to give them good booking. Asuka is not getting any booking other than holding Lana's hand and then Charlotte's hand. Asuka's more concerned with a tag team title than she is her own singles championship. And Sasha Banks is over here for months feuding with Carmella. If you think these titles are doing anything for them other than calling them champion You're fooling yourself and nobody else. And on the men's side, if you think the title is what is making Roman Reigns badass right now, you're so wrong, bro. He's making the title more relevant, no question. But the title is just the icing on the cake. Edge can make the title relevant. The Undertaker could come back at 75 and make it relevant. Roman Reigns' character is badass because thought, time, and effort was put into it, and the dude's on top of the fucking world. The title is icing on the cake. Relax. And now I'm supposed to what? Get a rehashed 2020 feud with Bayley and Sasha Banks for WrestleMania? Just so Sasha can hold the title a few months longer? I'm supposed to get a weird Edge versus Drew McIntyre match? Just because everybody's being a bitch boy Braden and is afraid Edge might get a title, so now I'm deprived of a huge WrestleMania match like Roman versus Edge? Stop it, man! It's Mania! For one night out of the year, or 2 nights this year, can we just as fans not be bookers and just be fans? Remember who you are! Remember! At the core of it, we're fans! On this channel, we always call out the booking, the good and the bullshit. Last night's, for instance, absolute tragical. But we talk about it, we discuss, we have fun. We have to remember the nights to be fans. WrestleMania is those nights. And we all can agree the best possible matchup we could get at WrestleMania is Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair. But because everybody wants to play Booker, now what? Do I get Bayley versus Sasha Banks? Of course it'll be a good match. But we're not going to have the same feelings we did when they were first feuding. Or even after another year and a half went by and they feuded for a second time. Now within 63 nights, we're supposed to get those same feelings back? With Bayley and Sasha Banks? And I love Bayley as well. And Sasha and Bayley always put on good matchups. But in 2 months, you're trying to rehash something that is not going to captivate the wrestling world like it once did. That's like saying Daniel Bryan should be in the main event of WrestleMania when he was in a mid-card all of 2020 and he's on a losing streak in 2021. And we're supposed to have the same feelings that we did 7 years ago at WrestleMania 30 with D-Bry. Just not going to happen. With the men, it's clear, you saw just a taste of it last night, that Roman Reigns versus Edge, the promos, the storyline alone is going to be 10 times better, more epic than Drew McIntyre and Edge. You just felt it last night. And you're asking me to downgrade my card. Wait till SummerSlam maybe, BC. And at WrestleMania, we'll get Drew McIntyre and Edge. Yeah, it's going to be a bundle of fun. I can already hear the promos in my dome piece between Drew McIntyre and Edge leading up to WrestleMania. Drew's going to be like, Edge, I told you I respected you, and I do. But come WrestleMania, that respect is thrown to the wayside, and I must kick your ass. And Edge is going to be like, yeah, I'm coming to WrestleMania, and you're being warned right now. I'm taking the championship, Drew. I respect you too. But I respect that championship more. And Drew's gonna be like, you're coming for my title, Edge. But at WrestleMania, I'm coming for your career. And Edge is gonna be like, try it, buddy. And Drew's gonna be like, I'm gonna try it. I'm not just gonna try, I'm gonna do it. And Edge is gonna be like, do it, buddy. And Drew's gonna be like, I'm gonna do it. And I'm gonna do it. Do it so well. And Edge is gonna be like, what are we doing? And then Drew's gonna be like, I don't even know anymore. And that's where it's gonna lead to. I'm telling ya. That's the promos. And they're gonna get physical a little bit. Ooh, maybe Edge hits McIntyre with a spear. Maybe a Claymore to Edge. And this is our WrestleMania build and match, folks, because everybody's scared Roman might lose a championship. Basically, we gotta wait till SummerSlam, basically. Push it back 3 months, basically. 4, 5 months, whatever the fuck it is, basically. No, I don't want to. I'm not a bitch boy, Braden. I don't need to be a booker at WrestleMania. I need to be a fan and watch dream matching. 2 things that are destroying pro wrestling today. Vincent Kennedy McMahon and fickle pro wrestling interweb nerds. The ones that go on the keyboard and they say stupid shit like, Roman and Edge is dumb. That makes 0 sense. It should be Edge and McIntyre. Yes, because Edge and McIntyre makes a shitload more sense. Okay, Okay, smarty, we got a smark over here. He's a smart mark, this one. He knows what he's talking about. I mean, these people are hilarious, but it's sad. I mean, they're willing to get a subdued night of entertainment. They're willing to get a downgraded WrestleMania card to book around titles because they're scared somebody might get a title. Bro, I'd rather you just get pissed afterwards and enjoy the fucking match, the build, the storylines. The characters will be fine. Even if Roman dropped the title to Edge, which I'm not a fan of, but the match has to happen because it's WrestleMania and that's the dream match. But even if Roman dropped it, if you think that's gonna ruin Roman, you're seriously dumber than even I originally thought. Roman is only going to get better and stronger along the way because the character is on another level right now, with or without a title. It doesn't fucking matter. Some individuals don't need titles. The Undertaker in 30 years didn't have a lot of world titles. Didn't need it. The Fiend Bray Wyatt will probably not hold a lot of titles. He doesn't need it. Alexa Bliss right now. If you thought I'd say this 6 months ago, I would have said you done fallen on your don't piece a couple too many times as a kid. But even Alexa Bliss right now, that character doesn't need a title. Shit. Look at some of the champions today with Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler, Sasha Banks and Asuka and Bobby Lashley. They all have titles, but they're all booked like clowns. So, having a title is not necessarily going to be your be-all, end-all. We learned those lessons the hard way with this company over the years. Don't be scared of the outcome of matchups at WrestleMania, guys. Be happy that we're getting these fucking matches on the biggest stage of them all. A guy like Roman Reigns will be fine either way. His character will thrive. I promise you. If Roman drops the title at Mania, I'm not saying that's the right call, but if he does, you have my word, he is going to be just fine. Stop being scared. Don't be that Timmy who's running back to his parents. Go into the ocean. Walk that beachfront. Don't be afraid of the whales and the sharks. Swim with those bitches. I see a lot of people out there on the interweb trying to put together a safe WrestleMania card. McIntyre and Edge. Bayley and Sasha Banks in a rematch. A safe card. There's no fun in that. Take risks. Take chances. Let's put the big boys and the big gals up on that big stage. Let's rock this motherfucker to the core. Don't be scared. In fact, don't be a booker on that night. Be a fan. We could talk about it afterwards. And we'll all play Monday morning quarterback together. But for these 2 nights coming up, let's get the best matches possible on the grandest stage of them all. Sounds pretty cool, right? For 2 nights, we get to be fans. And we can talk about it afterwards. I'm going to get a swig of coffee, and we're going to go over this SmackDown post-Royal Rumble show for February 5th, 2021. This show was absolutely horrible. It was a safe, redundant shit show. Oh, we're going to talk about it now. Before we kick this sumbitch off, don't forget to subscribe. Because, well, I'm asking you to, that's why. Always make sure you guys are subscribed. Now, the show starts with the head of the table, the tribal chief, the hierarchy on the island of relevancy, and our Universal Champion, Roman Reigns. Jey Uso and Paul Heyman by his side. And man, just when you think Roman has hit his character peak, he takes it up another notch. And his mic work is in another league, another stratosphere, as of late. Last night, he demanded Edge get his ass to the ring. In fact, he was pissed off that he was out there first. He felt disrespected and was none too happy. And his unease turned to sheer frustration when Paul Heyman informed the Chief that Edge is not even in the building yet. Roman proceeded to have words for Edge, and at one point, he even got amplified. And Roman raised his voice uncharacteristically, which was a great addition to the promo and another fantastic layer to his character. I mean, he just yelled out of nowhere. Paul Heyman jumped. I even think the Amplified Man jumped a bit at home. Oh, man. He ended the promo looking directly into the hard cam and saying, and I quote, "Edge, you will make your decision tonight." In fact, he said it twice. So Edge received the message loud and clear. Not just a phenomenal promo, but what a way to catapult Edge and Roman for Mania, if such is the direction WWE is going in. This was just a great way to start this show. It's sad to see the direction the show turned afterwards. But this was great and very simplistic. It's just Roman, your champion, going to the ring and calling out his future opponent. He's not there yet. Roman is playing his character beautifully. He feels even more disrespected that he's out there and Edge didn't even show up yet. So he demands, not only does Edge come to the ring when he gets to the arena, when he gets to Tropicana Field, the Thunderdome, but he will make his decision tonight. I just thought that was simplistic, but a great way to start this show. Unfortunately, the show takes a quick shitter heading into our first match, which was Baron Corbin versus Dominic Mysterio again. This isn't just a rematch. This is literally the third week in a row that we're seeing this match. What the fuck? Seriously? Who would honestly think this is acceptable, much less even a shred entertaining? Corbin beat Mysterio on January 22nd on that SmackDown. Then a week later, January 29th, which was last week's SmackDown. And then last night, Mysterio beats Corbin. 3 weeks in a row, good old 50-50 booking at its worst. Don't be surprised if we get this match again next week. And maybe it'll be tied 2-2. A series nobody ever wanted or asked for. And then what? Do we have the tiebreaker? Do we have a fifth match? Do we go to 6? Do we go to a best out of 7? Best out of 10? Oh, I shouldn't be giving them any ideas. And by the way, Aaliyah, Buddy Murphy, somebody put them on a milk carton, will you? Where are they? I tell ya. Next up is Daniel Bryan versus Cesaro, another rematch from just a few weeks ago when Cesaro beat D-Bry in less than 10 minutes. Well, this time around it was nearly the same result. The only difference is it only took Cesaro 5 minutes to beat D-Bry last night. In fact, he made Bryan tap out in the sharpshooter. Trust me, that's awesome that Daniel Bryan is putting Cesaro over, but I hope this finally ends this weird Daniel Bryan should main event WrestleMania talk once and for all. We love D-Bry, but times have changed. The Yes Movement is no longer a movement, and even D-Bry has moved on. It's time we do as well. It was great while it lasted. We will always love D-Bry. But it's clear he has checked out. It is clear he just wants to put talent over now. Let's just stick with that. Hour 1 ends with Bayley versus Ruby Riott. Literally nothing to talk about here. Bayley pins Riott, and that was it. Quick match, no story progression. Moving on! To hour number 2 we go, and the 2021 Women's Royal Rumble winner Bianca Belair kicks it off. She's out there talking about the choices she has for WrestleMania and her opponent, when she then is interrupted by Reginald and Carmella. The three exchange words until Sasha Banks hits the ring and has words for them all. Now Belair goes to respond to Banks, but Reginald interrupts once again, leading Belair to literally whip Reginald's ass with her ponytail. It was pretty funny, but in all honesty, this segment does nothing to cement a potential Banks-Belair dream match for Mania. But it does leave it 100% on the table, but again, this is WWE playing it safe, and if enough bitch boy Bradens complain and cry, maybe we will not get that dream match. If anything, it looks like they set up a Belair-Carmella feud to get to WrestleMania. We shall see. Next is the SmackDown Tag Champions Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, who, by the way, I have to keep reminding myself that they're even title holders. They defeated Chad Gable and Otis next. Another match that served no purpose, a pointless win for Dolph and Roode, another demeaning loss for Gable and Otis, and to top it off, I was distracted throughout the match because they had the Street Profits on commentary from backstage. So the Profits were in a little box in the corner of the screen. To say I don't care about this tag division would be an immaculate understatement. Moving on. The main event was a triple threat match between Big E, Apollo, and Sami Zayn for the IC title. It's a schmaz match, and I don't care about schmaz matches, but this one at least was a bit fun. A good match for the most part. My only complaint is the booking of it, because each of these dudes did their part and did the deed. They showed up and showed out. Big E ultimately defeats Apollo and retains his title. No way should Big E be losing that title yet anyway, so that was the right call. Moving on, you see the graphic. Edge hits the ring and cuts his promo. He finally arrives. And he cuts his promo on Who Do I Choose? Same thing Bianca Belair was doing earlier. Roman decides he's not waiting any longer, and he hits the ring with Jey Uso and Paul Heyman by his side. Now, Edge wants this to be man-to-man. He says, I'm already living rent-free in your dome piece. Why do you need these dudes by your side? So Roman tells Jey he's got this. Jey leaves ringside. Paul Heyman even steps out. Roman then tells Edge that he disrespected him, so he better acknowledge him as the main event of WrestleMania and the Tribal Chief. Say my name! Say it! Now Edge is looking at him like, dude, who the fuck you think you're talking to? Man, I really do appreciate this. I really love this, man. This was the first that we're seeing these two in the promo work that they can do together. And you're lying to yourself if you say you were not feeling it. If you're one of these dipshits out there going, this match does nothing for me. This match is a huge disappointment. It shouldn't be happening. If you're one of those people that truly feel that way, after last night, you're lying if you say your feelings didn't change even just a bit. Even just a tad, because that is what pro wrestling is about. These two men face to face in that type of promo. Edge's expression alone is selling what he's thinking, and Roman in that character, it's one thing to say it to Jey Uso, these words. It's one thing to say it to Kevin Owens, but when you're looking into the eyes of somebody like Edge, brah, pretty fucking badass. And instead of cementing this match, Kevin Owens comes out of nowhere and stuns Roman. You guys, there's some of you that are up in arms. You're bitching that Roman cannot lose the title at Mania because it's going to hurt him and his character in the momentum. What happened last night far hurts Roman Reigns way more than any title loss to Edge at Mania. A dude that you have put away 3 or 4 times already keeps coming back. That's gonna make Roman look like a fucking clown way more than losing to Edge on the grandest stage of them all. Last man standing, you beat Owens. Beat him. More ways than one, not just in victory. And this dude comes back the very next show and stuns your ass. This was horrible in so many ways. Can we just be done with this? Owens and Roman again? How is this possible? This is beyond unacceptable. Nobody needs to see this for a 4th time at an upcoming pay-per-view. Steel cage match, Roman has won. TLC match, Roman has won. Last man standing match, Roman has won. What more do we need? And man, Edge and Roman were doing so great together, man. Edge of your seat type promo work. We're all anticipating Edge's reaction. And Kevin Owens gets in the middle of it. Come on, man. Oh, bro. So what do? We play this game for another week. Is Edge going to show up at every fucking show when you could have catapulted Edge and Roman toward Mania? You could have thrusted that into the mainstream last night. But no, Owens and Roman is what we're going to get. at an upcoming pay-per-view. Elimination Chamber, Fastlane, who the fuck knows? Oh joy, can't wait to see this for the 117th time. WWE played it safe last night throughout. Nothing but redundant matches, rematches we've seen more than once. Nothing was solved. It was uneventful. It was an absolute throwaway of a show. In post-Rumble, man, I had high expectations. I know you can't do that with WWE, but I really was hoping that we were going to kick the road to WrestleMania into high gear last night, and it was the opposite. This was just a pathetic piece of work by WWE that they put out there onto the Fox airwaves. Absolutely pathetic. Thank you guys for joining me for this review. Audio format only. You know the traveling schedule BC has, man. It's grueling, but there ain't no way that I was missing this review. So thank you for the 20, 25 minutes, whatever it was, time that we spent talking about this show. And we will do it again Monday Night Raw. We'll go over to the Red Brand and we'll discuss that show. Hopefully they do better, but that's wishful thinking. SmackDown is usually the show that does better than the Red Brand. Well, SmackDown produced a pathetic shit show. What does that say about Raw Monday? Oh boy, I don't even want to think about it right now. Enjoy your weekend, guys. Think, be, live, amplify.